Yeah. Even in his eyes, like I said, it should have been at least universal, so I don't know why he kept saying Beerus was vastly above him. And, again, that was base Thor using the God Blast. This is Old King Thor using the God Blast on fucking Gorr.
Okay, what else did he said about, what else did he say?
Let me see, he says, he talked about the Berserkers and the powers of the Necrosword. He said the Berserkers can stalemate gods, but they're weak individually, being slapped around by even young Thor.
Okay, so Old King Thor was getting his ass kicked for like thousands of years by these same berserkers. Like, this man was begging to die for them. This guy kept getting beat down, brought back to his throne, beat down, brought back to his throne over and over again by these berserkers.
Army, they're at least like Skyfather tier in the army, but he even lowballed them individually, saying even young Thor far beat them.
So like those berserkers should be able to scale to like even like a base Thor, who's consistently way above planetary, like in those galaxy ranges, like universal tiers. You want to go for high end feats?
Didn't Thor like fight one for like hours or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, he talks about some of the stuff the Necrosword does, like it can cover planets and stars in darkness, make darkness constructs acting like a lantern ring. Do you think he went into it enough?
Gorr can manipulate darkness around him. He can kill guys within well, that was like they were just there already, so there's no outside help for this. They were there already, so if he kills a god or gets the blood of a god, he grows stronger with the Necrosword. He can make weapons, he can make shields and armor to protect himself. I don't even think he mentioned that part. Like, I think he mentioned the weapons, but I don't think he mentioned like Gorr can make shields or armor, or even make like other tentacles.
He did mention the armor, and he mentioned him getting stronger, but he didn't spend too much time on it. He just passively said that.
Let's see.
So overall, the main focus so far is that DanCo doesn't really go into much of the scaling. He's very vague on the scaling. He lowballs both characters, and he generally doesn't give enough information that's satisfactory.
This is what he does. I think this is what he does, right? He gets speech from respect threads, right? Read them verbatim off the respect thread, puts them in a video, and boom. No context, no scaling behind it. Just shows feats.
Mephisto literally found the respect thread where it says word by word what he said in the beginning for Beerus. We will link it in the description so you can see for you. It is word by word said in the beginning. It's ridiculous.
Like, you don't even need a respect thread to scale Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is one of the most easiest fictional verses to scale. It's not even hard.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. It's like my first verse I scaled.
Like, the verse is just as easy as scaling One Piece or Naruto.
Yeah. Also, he brought up a weird point about the Necrosword going through Thor, even though Wolverine's adamantium claws only leave scratches. That was just a weird feat to bring up, I guess.
Like, Wolverine's claws are just meant to, like, neg durability.
Yeah.
So,
here's some other bad ones. Let me see.
Oh God, the speed. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, let me get the speed. He said Thor's speed is inconsistent, and he brings up some low ends. He brings up Captain America saying he's the slowest Avenger. He brings up Daredevil dodging him a few times. Then he brings up Thor saying Wolverine is faster in combat.
Okay, those are just some of Thor's jobber moments, because Thor has consistently said, and it has also been implied, he always holds back in a fight, even against like mortals too. He always he does a Goku. He always does a Goku.
Yeah, he pretty much holds back all the time. The only times you know he's not holding back is when he says so, or when he's like in Warrior's Madness.
Or if he's like being pushed back by like someone who's superiorly stronger than him.
Yeah, or when it, like, life depends on it shit.
Yes, like Gorr, for instance. For I don't even understand why that was even brought up anyway. That's just pathetic to bring up for someone who should be at least on the same level as Beerus. That's just dumb, even saying. Thor
Yeah.
has consistently scaled the Surfer, who's been able to like fly through like galaxies in like less than minutes, fly throughout the universe in less than a few minutes or 5, casually fly through solar systems.
Yeah, he's also like at least trillions of times FTL, right? Well, he didn't bring up those feats. He said Thor has shown some FTL or massively faster and light feats. None of them as good as Beerus, who can travel through galaxies in minutes or less.
Oh my god. Surfer literally does that. And Thor scales to him. And Gorr would scale logically to Thor.
Yeah, he said Beerus would see Gorr as a statue. And even if they were the same speed, even if Gorr was as fast as Thor at his best, he would still be too slow. Oh, that's so bad.
Alright.
Even with just normal speed, that's wrong.
Oh my god. Okay, let's go into the speed meta. Cause okay. Gorr?
Let me go over
like,
you want to go over Gorr first?
I'll go over Gorr, cause that's simple.
Okay.
Gorr would be in the classification what we call as immeasurable speed. Now, I said before in my videos that immeasurable speed is when you're able to travel back and forth through time, or you're not bound by linear time in a sense. So, and like Surfer has like shown on numerous occasions to travel back and forth through time, and Thor has consistently keep up in combat and react to Surfer. So logically, since Gorr slapped 3 Thors, young Thor, modern Thor, and old King Thor, he would like have a higher level of immeasurable speed.
Yeah, even the old King Thor would have a higher level of immeasurable speed than modern Thor, so Gorr would have a much higher level of immeasurable speed.
Or if you want to just lowball, like billions to trillions of times the speed of light, or even quintillions.
Yeah,
if you want to go there.
He still lowballed Thor in normal speed. He didn't bring up his best speed feats like from Surfer.
Let's see, Beerus. Let's go to Beerus.
Yeah, let's go into Beerus. Well, first off, he did okay with the normal speed. Yeah, trillion times FTL going through galaxies casually. But again, he doesn't know about the speed meta. And Beerus would be somewhere in the terms of inaccessible speed to immeasurable speed at best. Inaccessible speed is basically when you could move in a timeless void or when time is 0.
Yeah,
and so Beerus and other Z fighters have multiples of this.
Yeah, so what he's referring to, for context, right, is that whenever you move in a realm of which would hold no 0, you would essentially be moving in stop-time realms or times that's absent of time, which would essentially be inaccessible, right? And of course, he's referring to this because Beerus consistently scales above Goku, who's shown an inaccessible speed feat against Beerus. Whenever him and Trunks went to go grab Zeno, that's plotting stupidity. Then, of course, there's also the tournament power, right? And of course, these characters continually grow more and more powerful, but then the thing is, you have Beerus, who's already massively above that Goku, right?
Yeah.
So Beerus should be, like, way into inaccessible speed. But the problem is, he's still bound by linear time. So.
Yeah. Let me get into that. Some other speed feats for inaccessible are Beerus and Goku were hinted that they would keep fighting even if the universe would be destroyed, and if they destroyed the whole universe, like time-space continuum, then it would be a timeless void as well. And nothing important here, brought up the World of Void, which is stated to be timeless, has no time in it. And there's a few others, but those are the main. But yeah, inaccessible speed is below immeasurable. The only way you could get them to immeasurable speed is through Zamasu. It is kind of a high wank, but to be nice to Beerus, if you say Zamasu is immeasurable speed since he was traveling or spreading through time into the past and future and stuff, then Jiren was stated stronger, even when suppressed, than Zamasu, and Beerus would scale to that. But at best, he's like immeasurable and be as fast, if not faster.
And the thing is, that only be like baseline immeasurable. We got Gorr, who's multiple layers into immeasurable speed.
Yeah, you would have to wank it off to the point that you would say that Omen 1 Goku is above the base immeasurable. Then you would just, as they get stronger, they would get faster. You would say they would be a higher level, but that's kind of wank.
Now, if I was doing this battle, and I mean, Chuck already did this, and I already done one similar to it. I did like Gorr versus Jiren. But if I were to do this, my own version, if Chuck or even DanCo didn't make this, I would like say, if Gorr has the same thing as Goku syndrome when he lets his guard down constantly. Like when he fought against young Thor, like he tortured young Thor, right? And he was like distracted by these Vikings. And young Thor got unchained and like cleaved Gorr's arm off. And then when Gorr got young Thor again, he was talking shit to his face, and he wasn't even like aware of what young Thor was doing. And like young Thor like got in his face and bit his eye out.
Yeah, he is Goku syndrome. Oh, that reminds me, we have to go into how strong Beerus is because DanCo obviously downplayed him. I'll do that. As nothing important here talked about earlier, Universe 7 alone is a low multiversal structure, and in the beginning battle gods, what?
Yes. So you've already like messed up. So sorry, I'm not trying to sound rude anyway. So the Universe 7 in itself is a macrocosm. It follows a 5-dimensional axis model, which in geometry that would be interpreted as much higher than that of the low multiverse. To be able to destroy the entire macrocosm, you'd have to be weighted 4D, aka multiversal, the multiversal plus, right? And we know this because Goku, he made a statement about how he'd be able to neg Zamasu. Although this is referring to the fact that Goku is stronger than Zamasu, it doesn't necessarily refer to the fact that Goku's immeasurable. Blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So,
like, low multiverse is just a low ball.
Yeah, that's a definite low ball. And even then, Super Saiyan God's an infinite multiplier. On top of that, of 3. Then Blue, it's massively above that of God. Anyway, so...
Yeah,
Goku himself can casually get infinitely more powerful than what it is before, but the problem is, an accessible and immeasurable speed, that's definitely separated by an immeasurable gap. That's not just infinite. That's like way more than infinite, actually. So, even if you want to make the argument that Beerus can grow massively more powerful than before, and want to argue him with Ultra Instinct, that still will not matter at all, due to the fact that there's just simply too much of a difference. Too much of a difference.
Like, the Hakai usually works on beings that are, like, weaker than them, but it will not work on beings that are relative to power or, like, stronger than them.
Then there's the fact that it's not going to work on Type 1A causal beings. As we saw, Goku, Black, and Zamasu, live like little duds.
Oh, my. So, going off of this, right? Yeah, that too. So, going off of this. Let's see. Okay, so,
You're getting back into that Gorr point.
Okay, so, going off of this, Gorr will be in those low multiversal to mid multiversal tiers. Well, a higher level than Beerus, since he has shown, like, better feats in scaling off of it. He'll have a high level of immeasurable speed, scaling off of Silver Surfer and Thor. Not only that, he can create weapons that are and shields that can block some of Beerus' attacks. The Hakai will not work since Beerus and him are on the same level. So you can make the assumption that Gorr can just power out the Hakai. Or Gorr can also summon these black berserkers that can be on the same tier as a Skyfighter like old King Thor.
Yeah, especially in their group, as we saw with King.
So not only Beerus is getting blitzed, but he's not only just fighting the black berserkers, but Gorr himself too.
Yeah, and at best, Beerus will be relative, slightly below in speed, but he could still be weaker. And while he could duplicate himself and destroy all the berserkers, they would just be a distraction for Gorr to come in the kill, just one-shot him. The only time Beerus would have a chance if he caught him, and that's likely you would kill him, probably damage him, but as I said, the Necrosword can heal him or replace it. So,
like, and the Black Berserkers also have immeasurable speed scaling off of Thor too. So you also have that to factor in. Well, we're not saying that it's a slap, like, per se. Well, it kind of is, but we're saying that we're trying to like more credibility for Beerus and Gorr because they were lowballed in that video, lowballed to places where they shouldn't be. Now
you literally got this stuff for Beerus from its respect thread.
Now, but before anyone shits on the video, understand that, notice in this video how we weren't having a total shit match? No, what we were focused on in the video was simply to give more accurate and correct and better information so that no one gets a misconception about Beerus being, Gorr tier, which he's really not. To be honest, he's really not.
Yeah, or get the misconception that Beerus is only MFTL and Universal and isn't even Universal.
Which I'm going to drop a video. Oh, sorry. I'm going to drop a video on speed tiering and dimensional tiering soon on my channel. So.
Okay, nice. Also,
to break it down, right? Gorr should be able to win this fight. I would say like low to mid difficulty. Beerus is. I'm not saying Beerus is going to be like slaughtered. I'm saying that Beerus does have a chance of winning with the Hakai. He has a chance.
Yeah. He has a chance also if Gorr is get caught off guard. Like, Beerus will probably do better than the normal Thors, but that's just pushing it. Pushing it any farther is just pushing it. And one of the main reasons we made this video is twofold. One, it was incredibly inaccurate. He used a respect thread for information. He didn't look any further. Very vague power and speed. He didn't use the new speed mana. And he basically stole this from Chuck. Chuck did this matchup first. And like I said, either his fans told him about it or he did. And it's worse if he saw it himself, because that would mean he either just looked at the thumbnail and didn't click on the video, or he watched the video and still lowballed them to badly. So I suggest you watch Chuck's video on this because it's much better.
Yes. Okay, before we go, I got two things to say. I was going to say, Gorr, if this was like a bloodlusted Gorr, he would slaughter Beerus. But if it's like neutral, Gorr is cocky, letting his guard down, I can see Beerus taking the win. Secondly, it's okay to use a respect thread, but if you know the context behind those scans, or you read the comment yourself, you're good. But if you don't do that, and you just go to a respect thread, pick up scans and just put in a video, or just using the debate without any context, that's just pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb.
It's very irresponsible and lazy. Like, as a content creator with so many subs, he really should put more effort into his work.
That's like...
Just looking at respect threads isn't enough. He needs to look at those respect threads, see where their scans come from, and then look at the comics they come from, or do some research, something. Even if... It would have been fine if you just watched Chuck's video, but Disney did.
Like, hell. Whenever I make my videos, I have to make my own scans and then make arguments around the scans, so...
But to sum this all up, we don't care who wins or who loses. All we care about is how the characters were presented into the video, and that they were presented properly instead of like lowballed, like saying planetary or just star level. This battle can go either way, as we said before. We don't really care about the outcome of this fight. All we care about is how it's represented. But that's been the video. Hope you enjoy it, and good day.